Hi guys, Run Without an H here with you. Okay, so we took a break during the holiday time, but we're getting back to it. This is specifically for my Facebook group, Stitching Fabrics, Papers, and More. This is the Idea Book Challenge, and the whole idea, if you recall this, my cookbook that I am turning into putting all my ideas, Jean Peter Artist and myself are doing this, and we have done 12 weeks worth of ideas, and we are continuing on, starting that up again. So I just wanted to show you just a little bit before. Now I will put a link to the videos in the description below and a link to Jean Peters' channel so you can go and watch her videos as well. So this week I am doing a flip out and an envelope pocket, and I want to show you. And I seriously, you guys, I got this original idea for the pocket, and I can't find her. I can't remember. If one of you knows, please put it in the description and I will add her, because I fell in love with it. So this is what we're doing. Out of envelopes, we are going to make this sweet little pocket. And let's see, let me grab, here's another envelope. So we've got a tuck spot here. You could, if you wanted, I could have made a pocket here, but I chose not to, but that's up to you. And then you've got here a pocket, and here a pocket. And then as you turn this over with this little flap, then I created a really nice journaling spot. So that is what we're going to create. And it's basically, we're covering envelopes. So, very cool. All right. So, let me put this back. And let's get started. Well, let me show you this first. This cute one. I used pages from a vintage children's book. I have some different copies, and I thought this was just really a fun, as we're adults and we sometimes want to go back and capture, our childhood. And there, of course, you have the same, you have the pockets here. And this one, you can see that I did create the pocket here, and then you've got the pocket here. But I chose not to put the pocket here. So you have lots of different choices. All right, so let's put that away. We'll get this wonderful book, set it aside. So I'm using the legal size envelopes. I'm not sure what the number is, but I will tell you that mine measures 9.5 inches by 4, and I would say between 1/8 and 1/4 inch, whatever that measurement is. All right, so you're going to need 3 envelopes total, actually, to do this project, but you'll have a little bit of leftover. All right. So first of all, I am going to remove just the very edge of my envelope. Just barely, barely, barely. And just see, just a sliver. And then I'm going to do the same on this other side. Turn it over, flip it over, and remove that sliver as well. You can cut those off with a pair of scissors. It does not matter. All right. Now, if I flip my envelope wrong side or flap side over, that's how I'm going to create my pocket. Okay? And I'm going to, this is where you just kind of eyeball it. You see what, do you want it right up against, do you want it right up against? Do you want a space, a lot of space? This is kind of where you just decide. That's one of the things that's so fun, I love about this envelope pocket, because you can just do so many different things. Got lots of choices. All right. So then I'm just using a bone folder to crease that nicely. Now, if I wanted to, I could also keep this as a pocket. In other words, I don't have to glue this down. I can just keep it as a pocket right there. And I would just tack just a little bit to hold this here if I were going to use this as a pocket. Okay, so this is just one idea that I'm giving you that you can do. So what I'm going to do on this one, let's go ahead, let's see, I'm going to grab, do you ever do this? You're like, put all your stuff away. And then you're like, no, I need to look at the examples. I want to see what I did. So I'm going to bring this pocket back. Okay. So I created the pocket in the front with the flap, and I created this, and I created this. And I've done it a different way on the other one I showed you. So this time, let's just, for fun, I'm going to get my punch, and I take off my the bottom, because I turn my punches upside down to use them, just so that, why do I do that? It's just easier for me, because I want to eyeball it. I want to look at it and see. Okay? I'll take that piece out. And so I'm going to create on this one, pocket. And then let's do the same on this side. And let's see, do I want a pocket? And yeah, why not? Let's try to line this up in the same spot approximately. Okay. All right, so here we go. We've got a spot for pictures, tags, whatever. Same here. We'll have a spot here. We'll have a spot here when we add a bottom flap. And here is a bottom flap from another envelope. So I will have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spots for tuck spots or pockets. And then when I turn it over, I can either keep this as a tuck spot, or I can create the flap like I did here. And I think we'll go ahead and create the flap. So what I want to do now is open this up, and where this line is, I'm going to just carefully cut that. Okay. And so here's your front, will be our front, our new front. And then here's the back. But to create this look, what I did was I opened it up and I placed, let's see, I've got that I can just copy, but I wanted to show you what I had done. Like if I hadn't created a pocket at all before. So I have these envelopes, right? So what I'm going to do is to trace, let's see, just give me a sec. Okay, so I want to put this in for this side. Okay, I want to line it up, and I want to just lightly trace that there. So can you see what I'm doing here? I had this side, this is already done, and I want to use this other side, which will make it equal the same on both sides. So then I will just trim this off, just kind of, just be careful and cut that off. And that gives me that little pocket dimension. Now you're gonna, you look at this and say, well, what, Well, yes, we'll take care of that. We will address that. We're going to cover that up. So, use whatever, I'm using a journaling page, kind of a nice heavy journaling. And this is, here again, I just, you can either measure or you can fold. And let's make it easy for those of you that I measure everything. I'm just so meticulous, anal about that kind of thing. So let's just be a little looser. A little loosey-goosey. Okay. You can see how that will cover that up. And then we will just fold here. And one thing with lines and this, if I line this paper up, these two, then that will be straight. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Okay, so you can see where I need to cut. And go ahead, use your scissors, whatever. I am going to go ahead and use what is comfortable for me. I hope you're having a wonderful week. I can't believe how time goes so fast. Okay, now, if you want to, like what I did around here, I used some ink and just, did my sponge and just, inked around everything. So before you do all your gluing or your stitching of things on, you want to perhaps address that. It's just a little bit easier if you do it before everything is put together. So for instance, with this, I just edged around the paper and whatnot. And as you can see, I've left a little more of a border here, and I haven't as much on this one, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. Okay, so this is going to be stitched down, and I want to be careful because I have created, okay, let me do this better. This is the inside of a pocket right here. So I want to make sure that that is covered nicely and that it's going to adhere. So in other words, let's open this out. Let's just open this whole envelope out now. So I am going to stitch along here, okay? And that will make that inside pocket nice and secure, and it won't show. But what I'm going to do here to do that is just, I'm using a glue stick to just get a good start. And if you don't have a sewing machine, that's not a problem. Then you would just glue that nicely. Your writing paper. So on the inside you can see this is what it looks like, but that won't show. So when you put the flap over and you fold it back, nobody will know that. But you. And that's okay. Now, because I don't really want to have this showing, I'm going to get my circle punch out again, and I'm going to trim that off. And if you don't have a circle punch, what you can use is you can use anything that's round and draw with trace, you know, like here. This would work. I could trace around and then cut that with my scissors. So if you don't have a circle punch, that's okay. That's okay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and stitch here, and I will be back. All right, I have stitched around the side, the three sides, and you can, if you want, you can stitch all around here as well. It just takes a little bit more time, but I didn't do that today. Okay, so there's the back or the journaling side of the pocket. Okay, now let's go to this side. I decorated with music paper. You can do with envelope, you can do anything that you want. You can go ahead, you can collage, you can put your sheets on your vintage papers, you can, you know, anything you want to use to cover this. Scrapbooking paper, you know, the sky's the limit. You just decide what the look is that you're going for, and then, you know, and then use that. Now, because I have used the music paper and the ledger paper, and I already have that right by me, I'm probably going to continue and do the same thing here so that, yeah, I don't have to stop and go get more stuff. All right, so it's just a matter of covering the pocket. You don't have to cover this side. That will be stitched down or glued down. So we want to do decorate this side and this side. Another thing that you could do, guys, and you might enjoy doing that first, is to go ahead and decorate both sides and then cut your openings. that would be perfectly fine as well. So I'm going to trim down my music paper. I like to just trim off the, the white, the cream spaces, and use more of the actual music part. Alrighty. We're getting there. Okay. And here, again, you can do one of two things. You can measure, you can fold. Let's see. If I just want to fold, I'm going to actually that thing in half, just like that. It's going to work really well. Ha ha ha. Well, no, actually it doesn't. What do I know? My fold is right there. It's kind of hard to see, so you may want to draw a little pencil line, or I could measure and see what that needs to be. So go ahead, cut your page. So then I've got this, then I will fold this over to see what I need to do there. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's see. Oh, I gotta quit. I'm thinking of some other some other things that I could do with that. Another time. We'll just do like we were planning on doing. Okay, so this is gonna go here. Wait a minute. Was it this one? Yeah. Keep in mind what you're doing, guys. Stitch or glue. Okay, and trim just like I did on this page. So you're going to go ahead and do that. And then you're going to do the same with this page. Now, because the flap won't be going up, it will be down because I'm adding another flap at the bottom to create a pocket. So I could use this, whereas if I were going to flip this open like I did the back side, I wouldn't want to use this because it's not wide enough. I would want it to come over here more. But because this is going to, be down here, then I can use this if I want, which I think I will do to save space, to save my scraps. Okay, I'm just going to do this. In fact, to take up less time and get onto it, I'm not actually going to stitch around this. I'm just showing you, a process, not the best process, but a process of how you can do your own. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my glue stick, keeping in mind, you guys, again, if you are doing some edging with your inks, then you want to make sure that you do that before you lay it down. And we'll go ahead and we'll fold this up. And then I'm just going to cut that. Okay. And I'm also going to trim this, and actually, you know, it probably would have been better next time. Next time I will do that. I will put my papers on and then I'll trim. I like that, just will save me a step. Okay. Now we've got pockets on, and to use like the extra, I just cut one of my flaps off. Okay. And you can decide, do you want the fat end to butt up against here and have less of the narrow, or do you want the narrow to butt up against here and have less of the fat? And I think that's what I want, because it'll match the look of this. But either way, you know, that you decide to do, that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to lay that down. I'm just going to, okay, fold that. And then I'll trim that off. Okay, so then I will go ahead and cover my papers. I've got some scrap paper here, but that's not long enough. Let's see. Let us see what we've got. I've got several scraps. So, and to get the scraps, it's just like, for instance, here. I'm just going to kind of butt that up where the edge would be. Let's see. Let's bring it in. Bring it in. Okay. Just kind of butt that up there. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark around. And I am going to trim this, because that's, so I'm coming in. Can you see? I'm coming in just a little bit less than my line. Okay. Okay. And then see how nicely that is? Nicely. Oh, drives me nuts. See how nice that is. Oh gosh. Okay. So then we'll go ahead and glue that on. And you can, of course, glue or stitch or do both. Okay. It's coming along nicely. Now let's get our other pocket flap, and we will do the same with this one. And what I'm doing, it doesn't matter, it's certainly up to you, but I'm trying to keep, like for instance, my pattern, I'm looking at it right side up with the top going this way, and so that's how I cut my music paper, so that, in other words, so that it wouldn't be like upside down, or, you know, which it's up to you. I mean, It's whatever you like. Okay, so this is going to go like this. So this is right side. So I will, on this particular one, I think I'll turn it, and on the wrong side. And would that work? No, that would be absolutely wrong. It would be absolutely wrong. Okay. Okay, it needs to be this away. So, needs to be that away. I just wanted to be able to cut this on the wrong side, make my marks. It doesn't really matter, I suppose, because you can go ahead and just erase those. But, there again. Okay. So now I will cut this out, and I will go just inside of my traced line. And I will do the same here. And I will trim this edge the same. And if we did it right, it should work. We'll see. Did we do it right? I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. Aha! And we did it right. Okay? So then stitch around, glue around, and then of course glue your final, glue your flap on. To your piece. Okay. And here's where you may have other things that you want to decorate with. You know, you're covering the papers, but depending on what you covered them with, I don't know, I'm in this monochromatic space right now where I'm kind of loving, you know, everything to be that way. And I'm going to set this aside for just a second because I am going to take this to the machine and stitch it, but I want to wait until I've got it all ready to stitch. And I have one more little flap here that I want to do that with. So, do I have enough room to have this be? And actually, I do. So we are going to just, again, let's move this up. I apologize. Let me move that up so you can see. Oops. Okay. Going to trace around. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a straight edge here. And then here again, I'm going to trim a little bit to the inside of my lines, my tracing lines. And hopefully, if I have done it well, it will look the way I want it to look. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. What do you think? Yay! Okay, so I will go ahead and glue that down. This little flapper dapper. Now on this one, I did both sides. Okay, but let me get just a moment and I will get my other pocket out and show you that again. Just so, you know, we see changes. Okay. On this one I didn't. Okay. And I could cover this up, but so it depends on what you want to do. Now I've got this all glued down with my flap and my pocket. Let's see, my pocket. Open up my pocket. Pocket here, pocket here, pocket here. Turn it over. And my tuck spot and my flap. And then we'll put this to the page. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and stitch all of this down and get my materials to finish this up, and I'll be back. All right, so our pocket is done. And I just put I've been working on just some fun little Valentine things. And I just put these little tags in here just to give you an idea, of what you can do with your pocket and how cute it looks when you've got it filled with different tags and tucks. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I like to keep the pocket a little plainer, is it gets all embellished by the pretty tags and the pretty fun extras and things that you bring to it. Okay, so now we've got the tag done, or the pocket done, sorry. Now we want to go ahead, I think I'm going to put some of my embellished paper clips back here, because these are trying to damage my little envelope. So let me show you this one. Here we go with the flip out or tip out. I'm not sure what it's called, but here's my basic page. And what I've done is I have taken my page and I have covered it with more paper. Okay, on both sides. And that's what I'm going to show you here. And with another envelope, we are going to create the flip out or the tip out. It is, as you can see, it is the width of my envelope, but I had to trim it down because my pages are not that high. So that's what we'll do here. All right, let's set those aside. Oh, I just wanted to mention to you, you can see I've got fabric here. You can do all different kinds of things. And this is kind of a fun change. All right. So we'll get our paper lined up. And I'm going to you know what? I want this 21. I want that number and the 22 to show, if at all possible. So I'm going to change and put that so that I get that number in. And I'm not going clear to the very edge. I'll let you see that. Can you tell? I don't know if that shows up or not. It's just a smidgen because this goes inside and I don't want the outside paper to end up being smaller than the inside. So let me line that up again. Line it up again. And then I'm going to just trim it. Well, if I get it lined up. It really does work. I promise. And you can, if you're uncomfortable, you know, with any of that part, you can trace that and then cut it. That would be fine. I am just, this particular paper that I had, this ledger paper, is just very, very close to the right size, so I don't have to trim much at all. Oh wait. Above stipulated to be paid shall remain unpaid for the space of. That's the line of text. Okay. So now I can just slip that in. Okay, that's going to be a great way to cover the page. And I want my envelope, my tip in. I'm going to use the flap to do that, by the way. But I also want this the right height. So let's now do the envelope to the right height. And we will just trim that off. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this so that you can see what I'm doing maybe a little clearer. I'm going to just do a little line here where the envelope comes. And then I am going to trim some of this off. And I'm going to use my double-sided tape. And this is the width is approximately 5/8 of an inch, maybe not quite. And that's why I'm trimming it this particular width. And then I'm going to put that like so. Okay. So that you can still fold it in. And that will keep this down, and then I can stitch. So then you just have this left to decorate. Do I need to? I don't think I need to show you the, because this is, I think this video is way too long now. So what I'm going to just show you is putting this on, and then you know about the decorating part. You can cover it the same way that, oopsie, that we did on the book page. And with two-sided tape, I always try to line it up. I got a little bit careless here, so now what I'm doing is folding in that little bit of glue so that none of it is outside of paper. That way it'll adhere to both sides of the paper and won't leave any sticky residue. Okay, so now let's position that Well, heck. Let's just do it this way, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, be very careful now. This part you do have to be kind of careful of. If you're using what I'm using, because the double-sided, of course it would do this when I'm trying to do a video. If you don't line this up correctly, can you see what you might be dealing with? Okay. Ouch. And I think I'm getting sloppy here because I'm just nervous about the time that I have spent doing this, and I just want to get this up for you guys. Okay. It maybe would have just been easier to go ahead and use. Okay. Use the glue. Okay. So now what I can do here, if I want this same, or if I want a music page, and because I don't have a music sheet right by me, but I do have this from the state of Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to, let's just do a fold. Let's see how that works. We'll just eyeball that. And that is going to give me, especially down here, I know this is folded just about in the right spot, so I am going to cut both sides off, and as I recall, this is just a little bit taller too, so I want to go ahead and look at that as well. Got that buttered up. So now I will line this up and the top. Okay. So, buttons on your shirt. Okay. So then this will fold. Now, what did I do? Why do I have that? Okay. Let's take that out for a moment. Okay. And we have our page in there. And now let's see about getting this one on. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead and glue this down. Glue or tape. I'm not going to do that right at the moment because I want you to go ahead and just get started on yours. So you're just going to glue it down, and then you're going to glue this down as well. Wait a minute. Duh. Apologize. You're not going to do what I just... You're going to glue it down, but you're going to glue it in the right spot, right? You're going to glue it where it's supposed to be. Okay. And you can, when you're done with the gluing and with the stitching, then You can go ahead, you can add some washi tape to help strengthen, where your flaps come together. It's entirely up to you. So the last thing that I'm going to show you, well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead off camera. I'm going to glue this all down. I'm going to do whatever stitching, and then I'm going to show you how I put these on. Okay? I'll be back. So now I have my envelope pocket stitched, and I have added washi tape to give it extra strength. I even decided on this one to create a pocket, another pocket, so my goodness. Anyway, this would be a great idea to put in your books. The last thing I'm showing you, which is the easiest thing of the whole deal, is I am just taking one of my pages, and I just, traced the little holes, and then I'm going to get my paper punch, and I am just going to punch those holes out. Okay. Very simple, very simple. I've had this for so many years. I've lost the little holder, but it still works great. And the last thing I do is put reinforcements. You can buy these, and what I do, they come white, and then you just take your ink pad and your little sponge, and you just rub it over the reinforcements, and they become any color that you would like them to be. So you can always have something, that matches, which is kind of cool. All right. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video and made some sense of it. So next week, Jean will be up, and then we'll be waiting. What we're doing is the second and third Tuesdays of the month. So be looking for those on the second and third Tuesdays of the month. All right, guys, until next time, have a fabulous day. Bye now.